Zinc is a very important micronutrient that has been known in the community for a very, very, very long time. Medical community, not any other weird communities, but it's been known as being very important. But over the past, unfortunately, 20 months, it has started to gain a little bit more traction due to its, well, very important and very essential help in the function of a well-maintained and a well-operating immune system. So now we have the opportunity to talk about it. We've covered vitamin D and vitamin D3 in a couple of videos as well. And in conjunction with that, you add zinc. Guess what? You're on the right path of really having quite a competent immune system. Zinc is essential for the normal development and function of your immune system. Thank you. As it protects against susceptibility to pathogens, mediates a natural killer cells. That sounds terrifying. Activates T lymphocytes, regulates macrophages, and is central to DNA replication. All of that sounds very technical. Basically, what you need to know is anything in your immune system that goes out there and it tries to attack any foreign pathogens in your body, all of those are the different processes that immune system has to go through, okay? And those are also the tools that it uses in order to accomplish that task. You have at least 300 enzymes that require zinc to function normally. It's just like calcium, okay? A lot of people think that calcium is just used to maintain, and build up bones, but it's also essential with muscle firing and muscle activation. It does a whole lot of things, okay? Zinc does as well. Evidence shows that zinc helps protect the body from the dreaded coof by impairing viral replications in the cell, supporting ciliary growth and function in the respiratory system. Ciliary is the little nodules that you find inside of your lungs, the little hair-like seaweed-esque structures that are in there that help with oxygenation and improving the respiratory epithelial barrier. Colds are coronaviruses. Yes, coronavirus isn't just the thing right now being used to lock the world down. Coronaviruses are an overall, all-encompassing terminology for novel viruses, okay? SARS from way back in the cut in the early 2000s that led to an absolutely awesome concert in Toronto, and MERS and H1N1, those are all coronaviruses. So if we were on the main channel, we would be talking about the pervasion of the language, but as of right now, colds, the common cold, are coronaviruses. Using coronavirus in the proper context is important, okay? And that's how we're going to be using it throughout the rest of this article. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has identified several common human coronaviruses that are responsible for upper respiratory tract illnesses, like the common cold. Although a cold is usually a minor condition, it is responsible for most doctors' office visits every year because a lot of people are weaklings. A cold can last as short as a week, but in children and the elderly, it can last longer. Okay, in the people who just like attention, obviously. Cold symptoms, sometimes you have a bad cold, I get it. Cold symptoms include a stuffy head, runny nose, sore throat, headache, and sometimes a fever. Sound familiar? There are some of the same symptoms of influenza. What else? But the symptoms are often worse and include a fever and body chills and body ache and fatigue as well. That's just for influenza. Sound familiar? It wasn't until the work of Dr. Ananda Prasad, sounds like a spell, in the 1970s that zinc was acknowledged as an essential mineral. A decade earlier, Prasad was studying young men, what a creep, who had grown up in Egypt and have never attained their normal height. Interesting. Actually, this is like really fascinating. After supplementing with zinc, the men grew significantly taller. All right. In the 1970s, zinc was acknowledged by the National Academy of Sciences as a mineral fundamental to the many aspects of health. Prasad collaborated with the scientists at the University of Michigan to demonstrate that zinc influences immunity. A lot of interesting links in here as well to different studies, so this isn't just baseless claims, okay? Research in the past decade has identified the crucial role that zinc plays in the curtailing the length and the severity of an upper respiratory infection, A meta-analysis published in 2017 found that those who took zinc supplements of 80 to 92 milligrams, that's not very much, okay, that's like a capsule or two, each day at the beginning of cold symptoms saw the reduction of the length of their cold by 33%. Cool. So probably by a couple of days, okay? Although research has determined the significant positive effect zinc has on the immune system and on shortening upper respiratory infections caused by common colds, further research in 2020 demonstrated that zinc is crucial to immune system function, and deficiency may be linked to individuals who have severe COVID-19 illness. Back in the vitamin D3 video, okay, I'm just going to try to get as close as I can to this, okay? About the people who have experienced very high symptoms, very severe symptoms when they're hospitalized with the coof, 82% of them are vitamin D deficient, okay? It's a high number. Nobody wants to talk about it, but zinc is right up there with it, just because it's so difficult to get normally throughout a standard diet. You have to search it out. Since the 1970s, scientists have discovered several facts about zinc and how it plays a central role in the immune system. The immune system is your body's first line of defense. Thanks, Tips. Whether this is against infectious diseases, wound infections, not wound infections, nothing's being spun here, or chronic disease, your immune system plays a crucial role. Researchers have spent decades studying the different ways that you can support your immune system, and one of those nutrients is zinc. Early and outpatient treatment from the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance contains zinc. This is the protocol recommended and prescribed by Dr. Vladimir Zelenko. Oh, it's Russian. It has to be bad, right? Zelenko created a website to facilitate crowdsourced medical data from frontline primary care doctors around the world. There are academics who also support Zelenko's efforts, all right, including some at the University of Texas. Oh, it's Texas, so it has to, you got a Russian and a Texan? Oh my, it's clearly disinformation here. Which hosts a download page describing the history of the citations behind the Zelenko protocol. Zelenko and the frontline critical care doctors urged their knowledge of the association between zinc and your immune system to develop their successful protocols. The data has shown that people who are deficient in zinc have an increased susceptibility to pathogens, including through the skin barrier. Zinc mediates non-specific immunity, including natural killer cells and neutrophils, something to do with the brain. Zinc deficiency presents the activation of T lymphocytes, production of Th1 cytokine, and the ability of B lymphocytes to help. During deficiency, B lymphocyte development is also compromised. Deficiency affects the function of macrophage cells when the trigger cytokine production and dysregulated intracellular death. Zinc is central to DNA replication, RNA transcription, and cell activation and division. A whole bunch of little important and delicate processes that get messed up if you're deficient in zinc. One study published in the American Journal of Rhinology and Allergy showed that zinc helps to simulate the ciliary beat frequency and may help to improve mucociliary clearance. Obviously, I know what that is, I just don't know how to pronounce it very well, which is essential for clearing the lungs of mucus. Yes, exactly, that's what I figured it was, just mucociliary, yes. Thanks for attending pronunciations with Don. Another group of scientists found that supplementing animals deficient in zinc affected the length of the cilia and number of epithelial cells in the bronchus. Again, this is very fascinating. A great way to learn about zinc is a short video by Dr. John... Hey, stop. Hey, no cross-promotion. No, I'm just kidding. A short video by Dr. John Campbell posted on YouTube. Okay, if it's even still up. He reviews some of the science behind the association between zinc and the immune system, and he shares a belief that zinc is one biological basis some people suffer from more severe COVID infections. I'm actually interested if this video is in fact still up because it touches on some spicy things. So it's right there, and boy, is he just bald, and he looks like a Dr. John, okay? So if you're deficient in zinc, it looks like you have quite a few different diseases that you could be finding yourself running afoul of. Campbell points out that many of the conditions associated with zinc deficiency are also comorbidities for the coof. These conditions include arthrosclerosis, tough to say. Autoimmune diseases, bronchial asthma. I've had that before. It's one of those things that is apparently supposed to linger longer. Waddle doodle. But it seems all right. Cancer? Everything. Cancer. I wouldn't specifically link that to zinc, but okay, of course, you should probably always be up on zinc. But if you're doing it for cancer reasons, I think putting down the pack of smokes is maybe a little bit more beneficial to you. But anyways, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, diabetes, being on diuretics, advanced age, immunosuppression, kidney disease and liver cirrhosis or damage, tobacco smoking, there it is, and obesity. No, don't talk about that one. You're a bigot if you talk about obesity in the coof. Zinc ionophores improve effectiveness. Interesting. In a short MedCram video posted on YouTube, Dr. Robert Schultz reviews the compelling evidence that suggests how zinc ionophores, a chemical that helps ions cross cell membranes, improve zinc uptake into the cell. This is a crucial component of stopping viral replication. As Holt explains, zinc cannot easily penetrate the fatty walls of the cell, but needs to be inside the cell to stop replication. Very nerdy, but very important to note. There are several zinc ionophores that can do the job. In the video, Schultz describes the role that, oh my gosh, hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine play. Oh no! Hydroxychloroquine is an ionophore. Oh, that's Zelenko uses in his protocol to move zinc into the cells. If you remember any of the hubbub about that, that makes sense. Okay, I couldn't imagine that video is actually up as well. Holy crap, it is. Anyways, but it's got it's marked for death. So, but the zinc one isn't. Okay, that's interesting. Zinc deficiency is not uncommon. This copper thing is very weird as well, because copper's another one of those that you have thoughts about it, but it is also very important to have in the body. Experts believe that about 17.3% of the global population is deficient, and it is estimated that the people over 65 consume just 50% of the recommended amount of zinc. 4 common signs that your body needs more zinc: lack of appetite, mental lethargy, or lethargy to your friends, impaired sense of taste or smell, frequent colds, flu or infections, and hair loss. People who are at risk of zinc deficiency include those with malnutrition, obviously. Okay, the people without adequate nutrition could run a deficiency. You're blowing my mind here. The elderly, people with inflammatory or autoimmune diseases, and vegetarians and vegans. Oh, and the mentally infirmed. Oh, I'm sorry about that. But why do people run afoul of a zinc deficiency? Because it's hard to get. It's really, really difficult to get. And unless you eat a wide source of foods, here are some of those that will get you the zinc that you need. One notable exception, what's not on there, is shrimp, by the way. That's something that I put on my salads in order to get the adequate amount of zinc I need. So I just keep that one in mind as well. So you can have zinc, Alaskan king crab, oysters, kidney, beans, lamb, grass-fed beef, which is so difficult to get. Okay, cheddar or Swiss cheese. Always get the aged stuff. Okay, you don't want to get that highly processed stuff. If you can see, I think there's like 3 or 4 different ingredients on a good hard brick of cheddar, good aged brick of cheddar or Swiss, then you're doing fine. Particularly if it's non-pasteurized milk that's in there. Another topic for another day. Mushrooms, spinach, and pumpkin seeds if you are of the seed consuming variety. But things tough to get. But it's incredibly important, and hopefully that cleared up some of the concerns, or it sparked a little bit of interest in your mind as to figuring out whether or not you are deficient in zinc, and whether adding some seafood or some high quality meat into your life would go ahead and fill that void and make you feel better. Make you feel like you're thinking clear, and would keep a little bit more turf on your dome. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.